All right, shalom, shalom, Israel, Pastor Corey, Straitway, Kansas City of the Straitway Ministries here. I'm out here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and guess what? I'm at KGB House, better known as Kabeer by Jabi Amila, and my brother is in the faith, and we're getting ready to go out and do a exclusive interview. We're going to ask a few questions pertaining to his career, and not only that, but there's some special things there. Brother Amila, all right, had a privy conversation with Reggie White about being an Israelite, about being in the truth. And so we're going to go out to Brother Kabeer, and we'll bring you guys in. All right, Brother Kabeer, how you doing? Pastor Corey, man. Glad to be in here with you, and glad to be here. Here is going to be quite a few saints coming out to your house.
Yes, sir.
Because you heard about Pastor Dowell.
Yes, I did.
So talk to me about that, brother. I mean, what, you was just on the internet surfing?
I was just on the internet. Me and my wife was getting to some argument about head covers. So I wasn't actually head cover, but the image of God. And so I end up finding out. I was looking for about the headship. You know, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 about Paul talking about man is created in the image and glory of God, and women is the glory of man. Mm-hmm. So in my quest to look to see what other commentaries said about that, I kept running into all this about head covers. And so Pastor Dowell was one of many videos that came up, but just the way he spoke, being called a pastor, the way he spoke, he talked like a man. And so it just kind of got me intrigued just to hear more what he had to say. And so that's how I found Pastor Dowell. The rest is history.
Exactly. You know, and it's amazing because, see, I'm here in your room, and go ahead and fan the room and show, there's a lot of memorabilia in the room. And, as I look at all of these things, and I begin to immerse myself in your house and look at just some of the things you've done. You can bring it back over here, Brother David.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. And so as I look at some of the things you've done, you was not just some, guy who played 2 years in the NFL.
No, played good 9 years. Was able to go from I got cut my first year, put on practice squad, worked my way from the practice squad all the way to the Pro Bowl.
To the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl. Got as far as to the NFC Championship, never got to the Super Bowl, but that's the closest I got. But to get to even get in the playoff, it's rare. Just for when you look at everybody's career. So I was very thankful.
So are you in the Hall of Fame?
I'm in the Packer Hall of Fame.
You're in the Packers Hall of Fame.
Yes, not the NFL, but the Packer has a great place for the Hall of Fame.
So you join the ranks of guys like Reggie White,
Bart Starr, Vince Lombardi.
Them the big time.
Big time. So I got there before Brett Favre. What was the chance of that happening? But now, obviously, I had a mate down there. He played long enough, but I got there before good old Brett. So I can say that I'm older than him in the Hall of Fame, so I can teach him something. He's a rookie now.
So with that being said, somebody like myself, I grew up in the streets of St. Louis. When I say the streets, we grew up in the hood. Mm-hmm. Syrup sandwiches, sugar and bread, them type of things. That's real.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So,
I grew up in South Central Los Angeles.
Right.
LA, Los Angeles.
See, and so man, it's just a way, that you grow up when you don't have a dad in the home. The streets are teaching you the other young boys that's growing up, they teaching you because they got things that they getting from their older brothers, and so the hood has its own language, its own lessons, and so for me, when I saw Pastor John, I knew he knew what he was talking about, because I knew that was the other piece that I needed in my life to really help me to start to formulate what it is I was to become in life. I had already, I didn't need Pastor Dowell to, stand me up. No, I knew what I did. I was my own man. But what he was talking about was the men, the firm men, the men of Yah. And if you could hear his message, then you can hear the words of the Messiah. Because there's many places in the Word we see the Messiah talk strong and hard.
Railed on his disciples, just like a coach would on the players.
Exactly. You know, and matter of fact, I can recall a place, I want to say in John chapter 7, I believe it is, where it said that many had turned away from Christ, never to return. Then he turned to the disciples and he asked them, do you also want to leave?
Where are we going to go?
Right.
You're the son of the living God.
Exactly.
Peter, so
yeah, and so he talked real strong to them. And so that's what I saw in Pastor Dowell. So when he told me that we got this guy from the Green Bay Packers, I'm like, who? Is he folks really here? I don't have to see. You know, and he's like, yeah, no. So I was just listening. Y'all listening to him, and I had to see who. Then when he said, then it came to me. I'm like, KJB, you Israelite?
Yep. Yes, sir. Yep.
So I wanted to see because you know it's a lot to give up. It's what we were talking about last night.
Yes,
it's like it's levels to this. It's because pride and you know just self. You know, raising up or you know, taking yourself to a point where the world's about me, you know, there's a lot of people who have that type of complex. They'll never hear the truth. And in fact, the word says it's easy for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter into the reign of heaven, or Shemayim. And so, in that, we sit here, you know, I mean, this man played years. I mean, you all haven't seen the house yet. Oh man, this thing is off the chain. This house is off the chain. But one of the reasons why we're sitting there, we're going to get to it, because you had a chance to speak face to face with Reggie White.
Yes, I have. Yep. Reggie White, we used to talk on the phone, came to my games. I remember him coaching me up on how to, you know, it was kind of cool. Like, man, I'm going to say, Reggie, I got one. I mean, he even signed one of my cash that year. So I signed every time I get a sack, I'll sign it, and he ended up being at that game. He signed off on it. And,
wow.
So, Reggie was a good brother.
So this is awesome. But you know, my thing is that, brother, I want to encourage you to continue to press into the ways of the Most High Yah, because we're in a special time. There's no other way than for Yah to begin to pick men. Listen to what I'm saying. For him to pick men from different facets and different hierarchies of life, if you will. See, for me, you know, I have influence of people that, you know, I was telling them I got a documentary that I'm putting together, because over in the neighborhood I grew up in, you know, a lot of people knew my brother. You know, now my brother's in the way, so he has a circle of influence. People knew me from the fraternity in college and back in the hood. Then you, NFL, here you are. And the more people come across the videos of Pastor Dowell, this crazy man that's screaming on the videos, and who in the world is he? And people get mad. You know, I didn't get mad. I sat up all night after my wife, and we were trying to figure out. I said, baby, go find out about this Sabbath thing. Go look on there. You know,
that's what I was looking at. That's what I ended up looking at, the Sabbath video, and I literally watched all of the. And he says, "You're still here?" I just sat there and watched it all in one setting, and that's what I said. I'm keeping the Sabbath. Literally, as soon as that happened, I'm going to keep the Sabbath.
Same thing with me. I sat there, brother, and I watched it all night. When my wife woke up in the morning, I was still up wide awake.
Wow.
But I was just blown away. I said, I don't know who this dude is. I said, but you know what? We ain't getting ready to add no more clowns into our life. We ain't doing that. But this cat know what he's talking about. I got every scripture he said wrote down.
I mean,
look, it checks out. Did it check out?
Everything checked out.
It checked out.
It down, say, man, blown away.
Right. So with that, you know, let's get into some of the important things. You know, what is it that you wouldn't give up to serve Yah?
What I wouldn't give up?
What you wouldn't give up?
I would give up anything.
You give up everything?
I would give up everything.
This house?
I would give it all. I would give it all.
It's a big house, brother.
Hey, take
swimming pool up there. I mean, this thing's off the chain.
Who wants it? I've offered, you know, I would give it up. Jesus, Yeshua, HaMashiach is the way to go.
Hallelujah. See, that's what we look for. I want y'all to hear me. Listen to me real well, you know. just sitting here, hearing him say that, man, it's choking me up inside, because you understand that the world is hurting. People are hurting. People are without the true and living Elohim. They're without the words of Yahshua, HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. They're without. When I was going through my lowest point in life, Brother Kabeer, I remember sitting and reading the Bible for probably the first time for myself, where I really wanted to inquire. Not just read it I was doing. I had a little fake routine I was doing. I would read one scripture and say, I read the Bible today. But that wasn't doing it. But the first time I inquired, I read something, because I was hurting, brother. And I read it, and it brought tears. I felt it in my heart, what I read. I was like, man, how could this affect me like this? And I was just looking at it, man, like, how could this? And it just, man, I find myself all the way to this point where I really didn't know much about healing, but I got to the point where it touched me enough to where I believed that if I would just lay the hands on some people, they would be healed, just simply by what was written. Ain't nothing no more than that. And that's what it was for me. So now I find myself as a pastor, a ra'ah, in your house. I'm on your grounds. And I'm here to preach to you, brother.
Hallelujah.
Lay hands on you. Lay hands on whoever's going to show up. And just believe the Spirit is going to fall hard. Oh, it's going to fall hard. But matter of fact, I know it is. You understand what I'm saying?
It's a beautiful thing. You asked me what I've given up. I mean, I'm actually going through some this is Daniel. Can somebody take this?
You were saying?
So anyway, you talking about giving up. Like, so I'm in the process of, one of the things the scripture says, Jesus said you have to be willing to hate your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your wife, your children, yes, even your own life. Anybody that tries to save their life will lose it. Yeah. And if you lose your life for my name's sake, you'll get it, And so I'm in that process right now. Wife left, children left, and I'm working through that right now because, the devil working so many different ways. Remember when Peter rebuked Jesus? He rebuked Jesus, may it never be. He said, "Get behind me, Satan, for you don't care about the things of God, but the things of man."
Right.
And I've had people come at me overtly or kind of subtle, and they're all trying to say, "What are you willing to give up to get your family?" I said, "I'm willing to do whatever. What are you willing to do to get your family back?" I said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get my family, as long as it doesn't infringe on my relationship with Jesus Christ. Right. So I'm willing to do that. But if I'm going to have to pick between Jesus and my wife, or Jesus and my children, I'm going to pick Jesus. And I've always talked about it, but now I'm in that moment because I found the way. And I'm telling you, the forces, the devil, is using all the stops to try to discourage me. And he's been gracious. Straitway has been a blessing. Yep. Pastor Dowell has encouraged me. The saints have come alongside and it encouraged me. It's not a lot, but it's those few people that continue to help you to press on. That's it. And so I thank Yeshua for being so gracious to bring people along, just like he helped Elijah. Elijah, when he was running away from Jezebel, right? And he was in the mountain, and he brought a bird to feed him. So I had to go to that point where there were a few people, and he brought my brother David, and then before you know it, just people just start coming through.
Yeah, that's how it works, brother. That's how it works, man. I think it's a powerful ministry, man. Because I was talking to you even about, things that it's another platform. It's you got to take whatever doorways we already are in. Those are doorways that we minister to, but we inquire about him and who is worthy, and we share this powerful message. Because this ain't nothing else on earth for us to do. Y'all literally pulled me out of the life I was in, and the brokenness. Like I was talking about, are you in Yahshua? The brokenness, I experienced that to the depths, man. Even to this day, man, I could feel that feeling. I don't want to ever be without His presence, man. I went from everything not working in my life all the way to the point, even. In this last week, I had the hand of Yah move real heavily on us, where, this was this past week. I was trying to get to a event I needed to be at. One of the brothers came, pulled up, and man, ran out of gas. I'm like, I had to be there in a few hours. We sitting on the highway, 18-wheeler coming up, didn't see us, end up getting on the shoulder behind us. In the last minute. I'm just looking at it in the mirror. Then I look, another car came, because we waiting on people to come pick us up. Somebody come get us. And they couldn't get to us because they went the opposite way first, and it's just like, I'm like, oh! But another car came. I'm getting ready to try to pull off. Another car came. I'm sitting there. This joker riding last minute. I'm blowing the horn. Bump, 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 bump. They pulled off. I said, you know what? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Why not? Because you can't get me. Again, say, you've been trying to get me this dead season. I see the hedge.
Hallelujah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
and so that's what we got to make sure, because in that, just in the pureness of your worship, truly desiring, because that's what it comes down to, not who you are. It's not KJB. It's Brother Kabeer, truly desiring to enter in. And guess what? He shows up. Hallelujah. And when he show up, man, that's when you get on your face. That's what he want to know. Do you really want me? And that's what these trials are for, brother. So,
I remember we were talking on the phone. You was talking about the great cloud of witness looking down. And when you were talking about it, it felt like, man, that reminded me of being when I got invited to the combine, the NFL combine. You get invited, you in the cloud of GMs, and they test you out. You have to do all these different tests to see what you're made of. Yeah. Does this guy have what it takes to play at the next level? Does he have what it takes to be on our team? And I'm thinking like, wow, what an honor. Yeah. That even though it's hard. Yeah. And even though when you were getting ready for the NFL, one of the things that you remember is you couldn't hang out with a lot of people. You couldn't do what they did because I had to train, I had to sleep, I had to so I had to go on this journey on my own. Yeah. When I went out there to do all those tests, I was out there on my own. I was going, and it's the same thing right now that I feel like I'm going through, that God has been so gracious. I remember when, God blessed my career, as you can see all this stuff, He blessed my career. I was a little, just a nobody, practice squad, got cut, people made fun of me, and I eventually worked my way up. And I remember once my career is over, going to the Packer Hall of Fame, I was thinking to myself, I said, yeah, I know how you work. I know you use the weak things of the world to shame the strong. I know you use the foolish things of the world to shame the wise, to nullify everything that you're Elohim. Yeah. And so I'm thinking to myself, how can I be, it was like at the end of my career, or now that my career is over, I'm like, can I still be used? And so now he's, like you said, I've lost, I'm losing things, I'm fighting to try to keep my family together, get my children, I've lost credibility in the Christian community. Just losing it all, And it's not like I'm losing it all for doing something stupid, all I'm trying to do is just hold on to, trying to work out my salvation with fear and trembling. Right. And so I now feel that I'm getting closer to being prepared, to being used. But yeah, I'm prepared.
It's the environment is set, it's right. And to add to that, brother, this is what you gotta understand. With the Most High God, the disciples had praise when they were freed from prison, in a miraculous way. And you had Gamaliel, who stood up for them and said, if these men be of Yah, then it's going to be proven. But if it's not, then they'll come to naught, like all of these other folks. Yes, sir. And when they heard him say that, they ended up still whooping the disciples and told them, don't preach Jesus around here. And they went away praising that they was worthy to be persecuted for his name's sake. You see what I'm saying? Sure. And that's what it comes down to. And so in coming on this trip, I didn't know who, how, what, I don't know what, but I'm just beginning to prepare my mind, because you got to start saying the things that people don't want to hear, but they are true. Sure. You got to start living the things that's right, but people disagree with. And that's what this whole thing about. That's why I said in the end, Jesus, Yahshua is going to get the glory. And all the other folks going to be put to shame.
Yes, sir.
And so when I look at...
This word did not return void.
Oh, no, man. Oh, no. So, you know, I'm glad we have opportunity to share all those things with people to know. This is Brother Kabeer, Bajabi Amila. And, you know, we here putting it in. So what I want to do now, man, let's talk about one of those great and mighty and powerful things that, you know, the Israelite community, because everybody, you know, when we first came to truth, you know, we was coming into the knowledge, we were just finding other things about who's in the way, who, you know, who's coming into the truth. And before I talk about Reggie White, you know, I came across this wisdom about a gentleman who opened up assemblies even in my area. You know, he opened up assemblies in Emporia, Kansas, in Lawrence, Kansas, Topeka, Kansas. He opened up assemblies in Dallas, Virginia, even in Africa. His first Passover in America he had 1,000 people. And this was a gentleman by the name of Prophet William S. Crowder. They said this guy had a loud, powerful movement of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, going, you know, here in America. So, you know, looking at that, there has been other people who have been used and pioneered and done other things in the Israelite community, but not many people had known, though Reggie White was one who done many great things for the Packer organization, right? Am I correct? So, in the Israelite community, people were starting to speculate and even say, you know what, maybe, it was the truth that Reggie White came in. And then other people had said, yeah, there's proof out there on the internet that he was beginning to come into the truth, and he was starting to share with people. People were shunning him.
Yes, sir.
But you, KJB, you had conversations with him.
Yes, I did.
Not only about football, but you had conversations about him coming into the knowledge of the truth about being an Israelite.
Yes, sir.
Or is that so? That's true.
So when he came to me, I was still playing. I was new in the faith myself, you know. So it was in 2001 because I was married. I got married in 2001, and he was talking about, you know, it was the law plus Jesus. Now, and I didn't understand. I was just new in the faith, trying to learn this stuff. But he was talking about
pause right there. Yep. The law plus Jesus.
Yes.
The law plus Jesus.
Yes.
See, that's powerful because in Revelation chapter 14 it says, here's the patience of the saints. Them who keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimonies of Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
So he was
sharing it. So now I came, because I was just a newbie, people were saying, well, the law is done away with. It's just Jesus alone. And so now I'm looking back on this stuff thinking like, wow, Reggie was before, this is before technology, before internet. I mean, the way I came into this stuff, I could watch Pastor Dowell's video stuff. I mean, he was trying to learn Hebrew and trying to really, there was no one out there, so he had to go to the Jew people that knew the Torah, but didn't know it from a New Testament perspective, meaning Jesus. But he was trying to, he was really, him, Hardy Nickerson, they were getting me to this truth. But then I kind of backed out because, I didn't have enough to be able to discern, because I was just...
Hardy Nickerson played for the Tampa Bay.
Yep, Tampa Bay.
So he was getting knowledge.
So he was getting that knowledge, and so I know that I kind of, got away from it, but I know people shun him. And now when I'm looking back, and I was like, oh my goodness, and then I saw some old interviews. See, this is what he was trying to share this with me, and it's kind of crazy. He was the sack leader for the Packers, and then I ended up breaking his, I was kind of, and then I was very into Jesus Christ, so they call him the minister of divinity, so it's kind of like I'm following him,
Right.
And so, but now I'm thinking like, they're shunning Reggie White. How much more are they going to shun me? This is Reggie White. He's larger than life. He brought a Super Bowl to the Packers.
Right.
I just broke a record. I didn't do what he did for this organization. So, but I'm just honored to just kind of just see how Yah is working in all of this stuff. But so Reggie White talked to me about that, and we were on the phone talking about it, and I was in my limited knowledge, we debated and stuff like that, but I didn't know it at the time to be able to be an encouragement, but I remember, I still remember, and he kept on reading the word.
Hey, that's a blessing, man. That is truly a blessing, man. Brother, it's a powerful thing to be sitting here talking with you. I got, like I told you, I got one of my clients, Shane Ray, that plays for the Denver Broncos. You know, this is something I want him to see this video. I want him to see this. I want you to see this, Shane. Why? Because, brother, there's Christ, the image that has been given to us. What's been given to us by the heathens, which Yah says, do not, make any graven images of anything that's in the heavens above, or the earth beneath, or the waters beneath you. And that's exactly what they've done. They've given you an image, not having even laid eyes on Yahshua. We painted, with the artificers and made a Jesus to give the world. And that's the Jesus I had served for so many years. That's the image that I thought about. I was up in the churches, and I went to a church called World Revival. That's I can guarantee when everybody's closing their eyes and praying, that image is in their head. That's how powerful it is. But we have so destroyed that image. We have so come beyond that. And so to sit here in Brother Kabeer's house and to talk Yahshua, the Hebraic Yahshua, Jesus, Yah's salvation, to talk the submission, to talk about the roles of men, to rule and over. My wife knows I rule over her. She knows that. You can't change Christ rule over us. As Christ ruled over us. And I'm practicing it even more so. It's a lot of levels that I'm being fed with wisdom, that I'm sitting down with my wife. I told her these are things we're going to talk about. These are issues we got to talk about. There's no issue between me and you. These are just issues that we've been taught. We've been reared up in such a way that, our children got to be the generation that come through that all of that is gone. Hallelujah. It's all gone. So that's what we're after, man. And many people are going to see this video, and it's going to be encouraging. Why? Because, look up there. Fan it on the helmet real quick. Is that your helmet you played in? So you put pad on people with that helmet? Yes, I did. Yes. All right, come on back over here. See, this is real deal. We ain't just talking, man. This is it's a blessing to know that we have brothers that's coming to the faith that I'm not glorifying him. I'm not glorifying none of the guys. I never do. You can give me an autograph, and it's the same as me giving you mine. So we even, brother. But in the faith, this is a power move by Yah, because this is you got to use the power and the influence they have given you to preach Jesus. Amen. You got to preach Jesus. You got to preach Yahshua HaMashiach. That people understand and know who it is. That's my intent every week. It's my intent for people to know that we operate under a power of deliverance and set apartness through his Ruach that only he can give, and to do it in truth is powerful. Because here's the thing, with all of these people that's in your life, man, all of these Christians that's trying to influence you. This is what I'm going to leave you with, and we're going to shut the video down. The word in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, talks about how, people are going to experience the benefit of Yah. Not knowing that it's going to be a benefit. But in death, in torment, you going to acknowledge that you were supposed to keep the law and judgment. You was going to acknowledge. You're going to acknowledge them. And so it means that we have to go into the ground, brother. If that's what we're doing. If we're not one of the ones who's blessed to have our eyes privy to see him come in through the clouds, brother. We have to go into the ground knowing that, unlike the heathen, they think this is it. You got to do it all right now. But we have to go into the ground or live our entire lives out knowing that we shall see the eternal, Most High Yah, because we have labored. And that our labors don't go in vain. Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. So all of these things are nothing but vanities. That's all it is. You know what I mean? That's why I said everything in here, this is all you. But none of that, you won't see a pack of heaven in the kingdom. Nope. Just what it is. I can see him tell you that 100%. Because it's love. But in the kingdom, we both know that wherever y'all had us, the Packer organization, fraternities, wherever we was at, it's a word that has to be in our mouth that represents salt and light. You know, that's going to cause many men to know and receive salvation. And that's what it comes down to. So hopefully, you all that's listening to this video, I pray and I bid you that you sit down and you think, that you process what you just heard. Here it is, you have a long-time NFL sack record holder, Packer, Hall of Fame, NFL great, if you will, sitting here with me, and this is a man. You know what I mean? None of that makes who you are. You said you willing to give all of that up.
If you know me and you getting to know me, I will give it all up. I mean, the heart, the money, the house, that's nothing. The hardest part is the wife, the children, and I'm giving those things up for, I'm going this way. I'm putting my hands on that plow, and I'm moving. If my wife and my children want to come, hey, you can come, but I'm not. I will cut it even to the point where I don't want to even be tempted where I'm looking back. I need to be moving forward and be about my king's business.
That's it. So, hey, receive ye the power of Jesus Yeshua and let this penetrate deep to your heart. Know that we all have something that we must give up in this life to be set apart totally, to be totally independent of what this world provides you as a comfort, what it provides you as a way to still abide in the flesh. You got to abide in Yeshua. He is the vine, you are the branches. And if you abide in him, then you will bear much fruit. See, that's in the word. And so that's what my goal is. That's my everyday goal, is to make sure I'm abiding in there. I don't care what it is. It ain't a dollar amount. It ain't a person. It ain't an experience or opportunity that's going to pull me away from it. I made that decision a long time ago. I remember when Shane first got drafted. He came back to Kansas City, had, some big deal. You know what I mean? I didn't even go to it. You know what I mean? It wasn't personal. So if you listening to this, Shane, it wasn't personal that I didn't come to your deal. I abide completely in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. And I'm going to keep giving it up, brother. I'm going to keep giving up. Anything, I don't do nothing on the Sabbath. It's been big funding meetings for our organization. It's been big events that, I've been invited to. I go to none. I only go to Jesus. That's it. So I want you all to know that, brother. I appreciate, you opening up your home to the folks out there on the cameras, man, and to share what's in your heart, to share the things that is tough for you to walk this walk, but yet still you stand firm in Jesus Yeshua. You be blessed in that, brother.
Thank you.
And you all be blessed also. I'm Pastor Corey with the Straitway Ministries of Straitway, Kansas City. Shalom, shalom.